Hello, and it's time for the Greek verse of the week. And I'm sorry, I have the wrong background here. This is the Hebrew of the week behind me. Nope, that's not quite right either. There we go. Albrecht Dürer's the whore and the beast, the whore and the seven-headed beast, or something like that. Anyway, pardon my language, but it was his title. Okay, or at least that's the English translation. He wasn't English, was he? Not important. We are doing Revelation 17, 9 through 11 today, which to me is maybe the decoder ring for the whole book of Revelation. Maybe. We'll see what you think. So let's begin. Hoda, ho nous, ho ekon, Sofian. Here is implied, the mind that has wisdom. This is an articular participle. This tacks the participle onto mind. This is article noun, article adjective construction, attributive, one of the attributive construction. So it's the having wisdom mind, as it were, the mind that has wisdom. When the participle has the article, use who or that. Ken's rule. I'm calling it Ken's rule, even though I didn't come up with it. Okay, so the article on a participle makes it into a relative clause, as it were. Ekon is a nominative masculine participle, nominative masculine singular present active participle. Okay, here is the mind that has wisdom. You want to have wisdom? I'm about to tell you a secret. Hoi hepta cephalai hepta hore asin. Sorry. The 7 heads are 7 hills. And of course, anyone in the Mediterranean world hearing that thinks, ding, Rome. Rome is definitely, so this is, again, I mean, I think it was pretty clear before. Babylon is a cipher for Rome, all of that. Fairly clear, but this, I think, is the smoking gun. The smoking gun in Revelation that says he's primarily talking about Rome is the 7 hills, right here. There it is. And of course, we can think of Rome as an archetype of other evil empires as well, but our starting point for the original meaning of Revelation, I think, has to be Rome. Hopu hegune kathetai epauton. So this Rome is where the woman is sitting upon them. She's sitting upon the 7 hills, I assume is what the them probably refers to the 7 hills. Kathetai is from kathemai. Amai, it's omai, it's deponent, which means that it looks middle or passive, but it's not in meaning. So kathemai, it's present tense, so present deponent indicative. Third singular from kathemai. So the woman is sitting upon 7 hills. The woman is Babylon the Great. The woman is Rome. Okay, the Roman Empire. Kai basales hepta asin, and they are 7 kings. Oh, this is interesting. Who are these 7 kings? Verse 10. The 5 have fallen. 5 have fallen. The 5 have fallen. The one is, the other not yet has come. Okay, so we have to put ourselves into the situation of a first century person from Asia Minor, from Ephesus, from Thyatira, etc. What are they going to think here? We're thinking about kings of Rome. I mean, duh, kings of Rome. Who were they? Well, probably, some have said, do we start with Julius Caesar? Do we start with Augustus Caesar? Technically, Augustus was the first emperor of Rome. And I think that would have been the go-to answer of anybody. So Augustus ruled, what was it, from 29 to 14, something like that, 31 to 14, somewhere in that ballpark, 31 or 29 BC to 14 AD. And there went out a decree from Caesar Augustus that the world should be taxed, right? So Augustus was emperor number 1 when Jesus was born. Tiberius was second, and so Tiberius would have been emperor as Jesus was growing up. Then there was Caligula. Caligula actually, I think, was after the crucifixion. So Tiberius was also emperor when Jesus was crucified and rose from the dead. Caligula didn't reign very long. I think it was like 36 to 41, somewhere in there. It wasn't very long at all. He ended up being assassinated. We're very thankful for that. But a bad king. So he would be a candidate, I suppose, for the person we're talking about here, but I don't think so. Claudius was more sane, but did kick Jewish Christians out of Rome. Nero, who we've already seen some reason to think of Nero, mortal wound that is healed. Well, there was a myth of Nero returning from the east, apparently, from what we can tell. 666. I've talked about this in my podcast this week. So 5 have fallen: Augustus, Tiberius, Caligula, Claudius, Nero. 1 is now. I argued in my podcast this week that that's probably reference to Vespasian, which makes me wonder if this part, again, I'm not an expert on Revelation, but hey, I stayed at a Holiday Inn Express once. Makes me think that perhaps this part, if let's say that Revelation is an archaeological dig, that there is the earliest part of the dig, the earliest, remains of the beginnings of the writing of Revelation, and then perhaps it was edited over a couple decades and reached its final form. Again, I can't prove this. I'm sure somebody suggested it. If not, it's another article I didn't write 20 years ago, which is, why I'm not famous. Anyway, but that would suggest that perhaps the ground zero of Revelation could have been written around the time that Jerusalem was destroyed, right before perhaps. Titus, of course, was the one who destroyed Jerusalem, and his father Vespasian was emperor at the time that Jerusalem was destroyed. Now, those of you who are acute on your Roman history will notice that I've left out 1969, no, AD 69, the year of 3 emperors, Otho, Galba, and Vitellius. Anyway, but I'm quite willing to throw them out because, hey, none of them had sticking power. Okay, well, let's keep going. So, Kai hotan elthe aligon auton de mene, and whenever he should come, that is the one that's coming, the 7th, it is necessary for him to remain a little. That would be Titus. After Vespasian died, I think in 79, Titus became, by the way, it was also the year that Pompeii, Vesuvius, blew its top. Titus then became emperor. And the beast, Kai to thurion, and the beast ho ein Kai ukestin, that was and is not Nero, Kai autos agdaos estin, even he himself went out. Sorry, I'm just translating. I'm not giving you the analysis. You want analysis. So elthe is elf. It's the aorist of Erkomai. Hotan, that on there especially says subjunctive is coming. Subjunctive is coming. So elthe is in fact a subjunctive. It's a third person singular subjunctive. O ace a with all the vowels fried, because that's what happens in the subjunctive. The vowels get fried. So this is an aorist active subjunctive third singular from Erkomai. Erkomai is deponent in the present system, but it's normal in the aorist system, even though it's a second aorist. I'm talking about the endings. Okay, and whether it's deponent. So, and whenever should come, it is necessary for him, the subjective infinitive, quote unquote, is in the accusative case, which is why auton is. And the infinitive is menai. This is from meno. 6 out of 7 infinitives in Greek end in I. This is an infinitive. The strange thing that's happened in the middle, we call that internal lengthening, happens in the aorist tense of liquid verbs. Liquid verbs are verbs whose stem ends in a liquid consonant like mm. They're called liquids because you can hold the sound as long as you have breath, as opposed to, say, a stop. Ba. Once you've said ba, It's over. It stops. But a liquid, anyway, so this is a liquid verb. They don't do sigmas, so there's no sigma for the aorist. They do a funny internal lengthening, which is, anyway, so this is the aorist active infinitive of meno. So whenever he should come, it is necessary for him to remain a little bit. Verse 11, and the beast, that, relative pronoun, this is neuter because it matches beast, singular because it matches beast, which was imperfect of ami, and is not, and he himself, when autos is in the nominative case, it intensifies the subject. The subject is he. So he himself. Eighth is agdos. He's the eighth, which in this scheme would be Domitian. Is John saying that Domitian is the beast? I hope not, because Domitian's dead. But perhaps the eighth is, so if Nero is the archetype of the evil empire, there are always eighth antichrists around, although antichrist is not used in the book of Revelation. Okay. Kai ekton hepta estin. And from the seven he is. Kai eis Apollyon hupage. And into destruction he departs, he goes. So we have a strange situation where we have 5 kings. One of them was dead, but is coming back. And so the beast will be Nero redivivus. Now, some take this of end times, that there will be a beast in the end times. Again, we could say that he's talking about Domitian, or we can take Nero as a prototype for all the 8th kings that show up. There've been lots of 8th kings. Hitler, Stalin was an 8th king. Well, okay, this has been the Greek of Revelation 17, 9 through 11.